And it's Saturday afternoon, 3:08 in the Midwest, and I see a little bit of a delay here. I am in the middle of my main house. I'm going to just talk about today a little bit. Didn't feel too well early afternoon. This morning walked to store and back. It would have been a 24-minute record for the whole ordeal, quote-unquote ordeal. It was 26 minutes. I was talking to the grocery lady, Terry, for a couple of minutes, so I extended it. 26 minutes I've done a few times, but at 24 minutes that's walking over half a mile in the store, paying at the register. I don't use self-checkout, and walking back, and there's annoying dogs all the time, it seems. They're usually tied up. And I walk fast both ways. So it's like an 8.5 minute walk, fast. Now I had 13, 14 pounds with me. That's about the most. I didn't have trouble doing it. I was reading about mail carriers, and I talked to my mail carrier because I order some used books, and he has to bring them over. And I don't want to order a whole bunch. And they should use the truck, whether UPS or the Postal Service. But I have one on order right now. Should come in a few days. My friend recommended Cornwell historical novel. We'll see how I like it. I like a lot of different kind of books, and I really haven't read for a year, till the last week or two. So waiting for that book, and I like to have my credit card clear. Now I paid this in advance. It was just $6 and change, because $2 shipping and $4 for a used book. After 3 years, I ordered a book, a Terry Brooks novel, the last in his series, Shannara, written about 4 years ago. The last Druid book was at 570 pages, and then an expert he has a new series, 3 books, and I guess they're all out. Third one, I don't know if it's in paperback. First 2 are in paperback already, going back 3 years. I might order 1 or 2 of those. The expert sounded interesting. It won't be a spoiler, but looks like goblin aliens trying to enslave humanity, but that's the general plot. And so I feel better than I did a couple hours ago. The spike proteins are really bad. It seems worse some days now this grocery store has a pharmacy. The only time I'm there when the pharmacy is open is when I need something. And I don't know what I'm going to do the next 6 months. It's been now 7.5 weeks since I've seen a doctor or a nurse. And again, I feel about the best I have in 11 months. As I told them, I seem to feel sick after I come out of the hospital/clinic. I looked on Medicare, they didn't have any evaluations, but I mean, I know how things are. Rents and con are decrying the state of the medical system. I think the medical system is broken. If you can get a decent doctor or nurse, I've had a few decent doctors, nurses and a doctor. Dr. Wolf, I thought, up in Des Moines Lutheran, was pretty good. But he was on for a week, and then I had him for 6 days, and I got a young pup who was a kind of a wiseacre, as I see it. Most of them, I think, are wiseacres. In terms of the doctors, nurses, I think, are generally good. So about a third of the nurses quit 2-3 years ago. I was speaking to one, actually, waiting for a prescription. The last time I went for a prescription about 3 weeks ago, refill for the prostate thing. I bet she quit because of the shots. I didn't get into it with her, but I mentioned a Kim and a Robin at this hospital. The other hospitals, there were several nurses I thought were quite good. Even some of the foreign-born doctors and nurses up in Des Moines, and who seemed even a little bit antagonistic at first. In general, in society, whether in the hospital or not, if you're an old, white, male Christian, it doesn't matter what I think or am in general, what I've done, but they tend to be prejudiced against you. But I said hello in, I think, 8 different languages up in Des Moines. I know that helped me. I know there was a young woman, I'm forgetting her name right now, from the Caribbean, and she would have to come in at 2 a.m. and do a blood draw. Her order's not what she wanted to do. And I think she was coming around to be, I had a couple of nice things to say and nothing negative, and she realized I wasn't, whether indeed anyone is in this narrow slot of old white Christian male. I should have been an old dead white male, but I don't know. I mentioned the pulmonary embolism. And, Twitter is a mess. I was telling Terry at the store some of my accomplishments and how it's not so much accomplishments because I'm not allowed to do too much. But individual doctors and nurses, if you can get a good doctor and nurse, a pediatrician, more power to you. I mean, like anything, you don't want a bad car mechanic. I know 3 times in decades that I didn't change the oil myself, something happened bad each time. Not real severe, but something bad happened. So I've been pretty much changing the oil. I don't think anymore with the catheter situations and whatnot. I may stop there. I may or may not stop there. Last one was about a year ago. The car is just a mess. My neighbors made it so I can't drive it at all with their so-called help. But the car is 12.5 years ago. It's not going to go. And I don't even want to drive it half a mile. It's really too bad. But I did change the oil about a year ago. And I've been doing it, well, put it this way. It's been over 50 years since I first got my permit to drive, which you had to have an adult with you. And then later that year I got my permanent license. So almost 50 years. It's hard to believe. But haven't driven in 3 weeks except 1 mile, and then the car is ruined basically. I have to buy another vehicle. If I want a 1-year-old truck, I might have to put out 50 or 60,000. I'm not looking forward to that. And then the county tax, the insurance will double on me. The county, I don't know if they're going to give me, at 66, they're supposed to give me a discount on my property tax. I don't know if they're going to do it. Why? Because they're not honest. Why would they not do it? They say, well, you get Social Security. I don't get any Social Security. That's what I have to pay. Well over $10,000 this year for medical expenses, including mostly for Medicare. It doesn't matter what I put in. Whatever I put in doesn't count for anything. Whatever I did in this world on internet, on the social media, doesn't count for anything. It was about 25 years ago. I had a couple websites. The reason I got a website, curiously, this happens a lot. It's going to help my friend Terry, who's now very, very senile. And I don't know, he's still alive, that's all I know. I don't know if he's probably in worse shape than Joe Biden without losing his lunch and so forth. But I did it so I could help him set one up, so I learned to do. It wasn't, all smoke and mirrors. It wasn't all plug and play so much 25 years ago. So then my Twitter goes back over 15 years. It doesn't really count for anything. You now, 11.5 years, they treat me like garbage. They treat me like a cook. So that's the end. I don't want 10 minutes. I get negative, but life is just so difficult. Even without having to use a catheter every 3 hours, life is about the worst I've ever had in 66 years. but I'm closer to God. God will win in the end. I think I'm going to survive this year. I think I'll make it to 67. We shall see next, very early spring next year. And just looking at my taxes, looks like I may have to pay 600 in income tax just for this year. Federal income tax, none state, but I can reduce. There are ways to reduce it by the rules, and I'll be doing that. I don't think I'll get it down to nothing, but I might cut it in half or something. There are legal ways to do it. Not legal isn't the word. By the rules, there are ways to do it. I don't know what legal means anymore with the Trump situation and whatnot. I'm getting off. Put God first, put family next. Countries are all messed up. I'm going to say, be careful out there, folks.